Hey guys, welcome back to another week of Colin Connection. I'm Will down here in Tassie and joined by the Fossil. I'm sure it's nice conditions up there in Patterson Lakes. How you going this week, Foss?
Yeah, good thanks, Will. Yeah, well, I bet you the temperature up here is a bit higher than what you got down there, son. They told me you're going to be a bit cool, so you got to
Yeah,
get used to it. But welcome to everybody, and hopefully the Pies can have another win on Saturday night, Will.
yeah, fingers crossed. I know it's going to be cold when the footy's on, Fossil, somewhere around the 8 to 9 degrees there in Melbourne, but it's going to be about -3 here in the morning. So I think the players
Oh,
will appreciate it being just a little bit warmer when they run out on the MCG. So yeah, we'll
gee, it's a beautiful weather, Will. You'll have to have your shorts on tomorrow morning, -3.
Yeah, exactly. No, we'll see how it goes. But anyway, Foss,
Yeah,
we'll jump into this one, guys. So we find ourselves against Richmond tomorrow, recording this on Friday evening. So Twilight game at the MCG, 4:15. The Magpies, yeah, it's going to be a game we just need to get the 4 points again, Fossil, with our draw on the board. It's all about the wins right now. So hopefully after the win last week, the Pies can get rolling. And the Tigers, well, that was a very hard watch last week against the Kangaroos. They went down 48 to 73, which, much like the Collingwood game last week, isn't one that people really want to rewatch. They just get the job done and move on. The changes, though, for the Tigers, they've been boosted by a bit of experience. Jack Ross and Mansell are in, so down in defence and up forward, they have a couple of good recruits there. And the outs are Sonzi and Fawcett, couple of young fellas. And Adam Uze Fossil said he's declared that this week is a finals mindset for the Tigers. So Pies better be prepared for a very hot start. And I think if we can weather the storm early, then hopefully our experience and poise. We've got a little bit of experience in our lineup, Fossil. Hopefully that can put us in good stead and we can get over the Tigers.
yeah. Well, yeah, I think you say had to say something, Will, because you got a fair bit of criticism last week.
Yeah.
With the way they played and everything. And yeah, a lot of people critically didn't make a lot of changes, but I think with their injury list and the young kids, well, it's just going to take time. But like you said, the Pies want to be on the ball, get stuck into them early. And, hopefully we can get off a good start because we're 11th at the moment on 26 points, Will. So we need to keep winning. But yeah, it won't be easy, but hopefully the boys can get out there and get stuck into them early and play really good football. I'd like to see 4 good quarters. Will that'd be magnificent.
Yeah, exactly. That's what you want for quarters. What about the Pies? They had the single change this week, Fossil, which was a bit surprising. A couple of players people thought might get a gig this week.
Yeah, it was a bit surprising. Will, yeah, I don't know what they're doing, but to me, I don't know what you thought, William. But Cameron looks like he was a bit jaded last week because he does the ruck work and then he works up and back down the field, yeah, and then back into the ruck again. And I just thought they might have gave that young Cole a bit of a go, William, as a backup ruckman, because then that we can keep McStay, Buller, and Memory as the three tools because at the moment, like if Cameron goes off, I will stay goes, and I think it's really defeating the purpose because then you got only Buller and Memory, and like Memory or Buller will have the full back on him, and their ruckman just drops back in front and makes it very hard. So yeah, I was a bit surprised, and also with young Anderson, I thought I might give him a crack, but I suppose they're going to rely. Hopefully Harrison and these sort of guys can pick up, or else they're going to probably have to make some more changes, but. Yeah, I was a bit disappointed that they didn't have another backup ruckman for Cameron, so we could keep that three talls and three smalls in the forward line.
Yeah, and to be fair, last week I was going to say Cameron was up against Jordan Sweet, so one of the form ruckmen. He's having a really good year actually, Jordan Sweet.
Yeah.
So when he plays against that bigger style ruckman, yeah, I mean, it's not the leaping ruckman which has really taken over this year, but Cameron always plays a bit undersized, and yeah, definitely against Jordan Sweet. So he sort of, I'd say he almost broke even though the hitouts weren't necessarily in our favour. They were pretty dominant by Port, but it was yeah the power didn't really take full advantage of that. And our midfielders, we've been calling it all year, Fossil. They finally took the initiative and started to read from the opposition. So maybe that's something they're going to look at going forward. I did post earlier in the week on our socials. Thank you everyone for getting involved just about the ins and outs, and a lot suggested that Co should come in just to give him a chop out. Yeah, he's not going to be like an Oscar Steen. So whether they want to try Co maybe, yeah, later on in the year, but maybe they think Cameron against Nankervis, and they'll chuck in probably Noah Bolter just as a pinch hitter. So I think in terms of size wise, he probably matches up pretty well. The tank is a big boy, Nank, but yeah, I think Cameron might have his match going around the ground.
Yeah, yeah, no, you're spot on there, Will, like you said, because he just works so hard, Cameron, and he's got to have a spell, Will, but, to put McStay or Long or somebody in there, it's just ridiculous. But anyhow, they know what they're doing, but it looks like we've lost Morey for the year, Will. It doesn't look too good. And Maynard, I think, is a couple of weeks away, so we'll just wait and see on that one, but it looks like Morey's finished for the year.
Yeah, well, they're hoping that they're still hopeful he'll get back, but I guess that back six will give us a chance to have a look at some options and punches on the emergency list again. They're going to go with Billy Frampton and Jeremy Howe, but when we come up against those sides with three genuine key tall forwards, like let's say Fremantle, yeah, it's going to be pretty tough. Obviously, they'd probably be around finals time if we did, but. Yeah, it's going to be pretty hard to match up. We will be a bit undersized as usual, so hopefully Maynard can get back in soon. And yeah, I mean the defense is actually where my focus is, where I think this game will be won and lost. Obviously, it is the Tigers who have won one game against the Bombers since round nine, but you can't go in against anyone these days and take it lightly. So last week I said the Pies, their season will be defined by being that best defensive unit, and I just think that's how we're going to win games, along with adding on, as we saw last week, a bit more of that attacking hand pass or using the corridor. They really did push through to give us some good looks inside 50. And we didn't, in that last quarter, just ignore that. We didn't obviously take all our opportunities, but we really could have blown the game out if they wanted to. I think both sides were just happy to let it go. The shortest quarter in a very long time, Fossil being no goals, but yeah, both sides were just ready to settle after that injury carnage. So with me, the Pies just had a bit of that daring, fast attacking footy, along with being the best defensive team and kicking a winning score. That's just going to be where we should have our expectations if the Pies are going to do some damage in the second half of the year and get on a bit of a roll. And yeah, we've obviously only scored over 100 once in the last season odd now. So yeah, I think they're really going to rely on their defense to get the job done.
Yeah, no, you're spot on there, Will. Yeah, like the Dacos, the Goey, and the two Dacos boys and the Goey, they've been in top form coming through the middle. So as long as they can get their kicking right, Will, when they're going inside 50, and hopefully the boys can have a big win because I think it'll give a bit of a confidence. And like I said, the next 5 weeks very important. Will see which way we go. And also, like you said, with Puncher, they're probably going to have to play him at some stage. Will, like you said, if they come up against the big boys. They're doing all right at the moment. We're just lucky, I think, that they're keeping the scores, the teams at fairly low scores, so we can do enough to win the game. But hopefully this week they attack from the start, Will, and we have four good quarters and kick a nice high score for a change. It'd be lovely.
Exactly. And just to finish off that point, last week Port had 55 inside 50s, and obviously not necessarily quality inside 50s, but they scored 52 points and no goals in the second half. So that defensive unit, the stat came out in the week that we're 18th for conceding inside 50s, and we're number one in terms of scores per inside 50 from the opposition. So I think that's all credit to Billy Frampton and Jeremy Howe and the likes, because we're just not letting sides score. Unfortunately, we're under a lot of pressure, but so hopefully they need to improve that if we're going to be any chance at the back end of this season. But I guess that just shows how rock solid that back six is.
Yeah,
So
yeah, exactly.
hopefully they can keep it going this week. Fossil, we'll get to our predictions. So I'll touch on last week with the disposals. I said Nick Dacos at 33, and I was 8 off the mark. He got a lot of disposals in that fourth quarter, so end up with 41. I said Chelsea with 3 goals, and Membry and DeGoey both had 3. So yeah, they really took over the game there. Membry found a way to kick goals at the MCG, and I did say Fossil. I don't like to toot my own horn very often, but I said the Pies by 26 points, and thanks to Sidebottom kicking a goal for the behind for the opposition after the siren, he must have known my predictions. So 26 points
Yeah,
right on the dot.
yeah, beautiful. Well done. Well, it's good to see you get one right. So very good. Well, I'm taking the Pies with him. I think the Pies are going to win by 58 points, Will. And disposals, I think Jack Crispy, I think he'll end up with 27. And McStay's going to kick 3 goals this week, William.
Geez,
I think he's going.
yeah, you got a big spread going on there. For you think our top possession getter will be Jack Crisp with 27? Just confirming.
No, Crispy will have 27. Yeah, he'll have 27. He'll have 27. And I said McStay will kick 3 goals.
Yeah, I understand that. The concept is most disposals. So
Well, he can
anyway,
have 30. He can have
we've
37
don't
then.
worry,
Yeah.
we've only been doing this all year, Fossil. So great year,
Yeah,
right?
no, he'll be 20. He'll be 27. Crispy, he'll have a good game. He's playing well, isn't he?
No,
Very
he
consistent.
is. He's hit that trigger for a contract, and I know they talk about our older players, and remember he's hit form too and putting his hand up. There has to be obviously a line where they say, look, remember he's not going to be on much money, so they'll probably say, yep, give him a 1 year extension, and he's going to be a backup for the likes of Buller, West, or if the Pies go big and get a big recruit, remember he's just going to be there just to in that backup option and probably play more games in the VFL, which is fine because he's not going to have a big contract. But same with Jack Crisp, but he is performing. He's been really good for about the last 6 weeks. The same time as De Go, he's been pretty solid too. So yeah, no. So let's just say Jack Crisp to the side with 27. I want to change it up because Nick Dacos might just get 45 this week, Fossil. But I think Pendlebury with 35, he might, he's had that couple of weeks off now and he might just hit his top form like Anzac Day and another few of those good games he had this year. So I've gone Pendlebury with 35, and I'm joining you with McStay. I'm putting him down for 4 goals, Fossil. I think that
Mm.
he's been playing above his expectations. A lot of people have talked about, dropping him or we're not going to. He's been playing his role great this year. He's been a backup ruckman, like you said at times, and he seems to be at times our only forward that can take a contested mark against genuine opposition. So all credit to McStay. I think he's performing compared to a lot of the struggles we've had this year up forward. If you go back and watch him, I think he's actually doing a pretty good job. So
Yeah, no, I
um,
agree with you 100% there, William. I think he has been too. Like he's been up the ground a lot, but I tell you what, when he gets those hands on the pill, it doesn't move very far. William looks like it's going to burst sometimes. He grabs it that hard, but yeah, hopefully he can stay within his range. And he's quite capable of kicking 3 or 4. Well, no worries at all, as long as they get their structure right. And get him one out. He's done very well. But I just had one question, William. Sorry, without notice. Have you heard anything? Are they trying to sign Allen, or have you heard anything what's going on with him, or are they?
Well, Fossil, be be patient, guys, with the Foss in the social media. Yeah, we did post one this week, Fossil, about Ed Allen, and I he has the pull, so we had a lot of responses online. So thanks for that, guys. But just regarding Ed Allen, and I think the Pies should sign him. He looks like an absolute jet, and I'd really hate to lose him. But he's because he's a first rounder, so either delisting, which isn't going to happen or buy a trade Fossil. So I think that if he wants to go home and if he says to the club, oh, I want to go to WA, apparently the likes of Gold Coast are looking at him as well, that the Pies should just ask for simply too much and just say, look, if you want him, people are saying maybe a first rounder. I think the Pies just go for a first rounder and a second rounder, throw in another later draft pick to maybe get a player as well, because I think he's absolutely going to be a jet. He has just got every attribute of a good midfielder. He's building with confidence ever since they chucked him in the middle, which where he should have been all year. And he's stopping the opposition's best players, Richards, Bontempelli, and Butters recently. He's stopping them from getting the footy at the same time, finding his own. So he's just too valuable. He's very young and still learning his craft. So he's just going to be one of those bollocking big midfielders that are just going to take over a game. So I think they need to re-sign him or extend him as soon as possible. But yeah, I'm just very hopeful that if he says I want to go home, the Collingwood will just get as much as they can for him because he's too good a talent to lose.
Yeah, well said. We couldn't agree with you more. He's getting better and better and better. And like Swadley and these sort of blokes, they're the ones that they're going to be the futures. So they've got to give him game time. And like you said, they put him back in the middle after Fossil told you he's not a winger. And they put him back in the middle, and he absolutely killed him. But he's doing well, the young fella. So fingers crossed we can get him signed quickly, Will, and he'll be the future of the club.
And a few people said too that, he only getting a chance now, it might be too late. Well, about 5, 6 weeks ago, they dropped him and they said, "You're not putting your head over the footy enough." He went back to the VFL, he showed them that he can do that, and then ever since then we've just seen him go from strength to strength. So just
Yeah,
be patient,
exactly.
guys. I think regardless, he needs to play every week, because if he's leaving, he gives us more draft capital. If not, then great. He's learning his craft, and I think we need to keep him. So we'll finish up there. I think the Pies by 38 as well, Foss. I think that the Tigers will give us a bit to think about early, and then hopefully the senior players, the senior experience of our list will get us over the line. So finish, guys, with that flag pies prediction. Game day prediction this week is up to $50. So unfortunately, no winners last week, but that will be on our socials later tonight. I'll give everyone a bit more time. So be looking out for that, and send in your also. I'm going to get you guys to tag a mate this week. So just trying to grow our little Collingwood connection and Flag Pies Facebook page. So like I said, and with our videos, like and subscribe and share. We just like to get more people involved. And the Fossil, he loves getting questions from people. So throw them in, guys. And yeah, I'm sure the Fossil will have some good responses next week. So until then, go Pies, Fossil, and hopefully it's a nice day at the MCG tomorrow.
Yeah, have a good weekend, William. Yes, and go Pies, and hopefully the boys can have a big win.
Go Pies. See you guys.
See ya.